Why, hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Shobo. Today is Friday, July 9th, 2021. And on this day, the cats have been very naughty. And I'm not dealing with it. I'm not the one who's having to deal with it. That would be my mother, because Dolly this morning caused a bit of an avalanche of stuff in her bedroom. And apparently it was such a large avalanche that my mother was worried that Dolly might have been caught underneath the thing and potentially hurt. But no, Dolly had run away immediately. And yeah, so that was the first thing. And then, of course, coming downstairs, she gets her breakfast out from the refrigerator, pulls out her coffee creamer, and gets the coffee cup onto the Keurig, and then of course up comes Ollie onto the countertop and starts going over to sniff at the coffee mug, and I see that and I go to get him off the counter, and he backs up and knocks over the coffee creamer plastic bottle, breaking the top open and spilling creamer everywhere. Just a couple minutes before I'm streaming here, so yeah, that's been the morning for reality, but also in the land of news, Genshin Impact just had a live stream for their 2.0 update. They spent over an hour talking about the new region Inazuma coming in version 2.0 of the game, which is going to be out in what is it, a week and a half, I think, is when the normal update schedule would be, the 21st of July, if I'm not completely mistaken. I think it's the 21st. Maybe. They have the, they tend to have the preview a couple weeks before, week and a half before, something like that. So it was I mean, what they showed was great. The problem is they spent a really long time just talking about game development, which, yeah, it's nice to have that, but this is a PR event, and an event that is, supposed to be about showing the upcoming content. And when your hour and 15-minute stream ends up being only 20 minutes of actual gameplay preview stuff, there's a problem there. They should have kept these things separate, in my mind, in my opinion, because there's dev diary stuff, which should be, as a dev diary, that should have been separate, and just have a shorter thing with a lot more of a focus on what we're actually getting and what we can expect, and not just have these very short clips of the gameplay. I hate that they did that. But anyway, things. I will not be using my wishes on Ayaka. I will be using it on I hit the button to continue our playthrough. When last we met, I believe I remember ending off a little bit early because we got to our blue giant star system that I plan on building the Dyson Sphere around, or a Dyson Sphere around, our first Dyson Sphere and Swarm around, and essentially had to set up a whole bunch of basic resource extraction and So I've gone ahead off screen and done as much as I could manage, as much as my brain could manage, that is, between last time and this time in the couple days since then. Essentially now I have a bunch of silicon. I've got the fractal silicon being processed into the crystals. I've got stone into stone bricks and glass. I've got iron into iron ingots, magnets, and steel. I've got copper into copper ingots. I've got titanium into titanium ingots, and so on and so forth. I've got diamonds out of kimberlite. I don't think I tapped into the organic crystals yet, unless I did that during the stream. I don't really remember. I have spiniform into the carbon nanotubes. I have the spiniform crystals being processed. And I have out here at this barren desert wasteland that is Ave, I have processed fire ice. And I actually think I want to go here because it allows me to show something that I find a little bit interesting. I can get over there 5.6 AU away. This'll take a minute. So let's just say I found it very rude when I discovered that this planet does not have any wind whatsoever. Wind energy ratio 0. I didn't notice that the first time. Initially. I had no idea that this fire ice planet had 0 wind energy, and it's the planet that's directly adjacent to the satellite of an ice giant, which again gives infinity amounts of fire ice. Fire ice processes into graphene and hydrogen. Well, okay, we've got a source of hydrogen then, an infinite source of hydrogen. Well, we've also got an infinite source of hydrogen from the ice giant. But particularly, we have to deal with excess hydrogen if we want the graphene out of the fire ice, right? To an extent, we can store the hydrogen and make use of it, but we have to deal with a backup, potential backups. And the way that you would do this is you would use the hydrogen as a way of producing power. Just make power, and that'll use the hydrogen. Even better, use particle colliders to convert the hydrogen to deuterium and then burn the deuterium as deuterium because it has the same fuel value and it cuts the volume in half, and the building itself uses a lot of energy. But this planet doesn't have wind to keep the system going. So what the heck am I supposed to do to keep the system going without overdoing it? Well, I can't. I can't. It's as simple as that. I have to have a ring of solar panels to make the power consistent, but it's too much. And I have to use the energy from the hydrogen into deuterium, which I've used all of at the moment. So how are we supposed to get around this? How do we actually get around this? And looking online, I did find a post from someone on the forum, and you can see right there, the solution. The solution is a pair of energy exchangers with accumulators. I had to go through the effort of making accumulators local, or in this system. So I do have accumulators being made, which means I have these super magnetic rings provided on my network. I have an entire interstellar logistics station full of these blue rings now. It's glorious, actually, that I genuinely have production of these items. One massive step forward. So what happens here is that charging accumulators just so happens to be the lowest priority usage of power on the power network, which means that everything else that needs power will get power before charging accumulators in an energy exchanger. That's step one. So the excess power produced by the deuterium processing while all these buildings are operating will get converted into full accumulators. Well, then what do you have to do then with the full accumulators? You can't just allow this item to stack up infinitely. No, we can't really do that. It's a bit of a problem if it were to do that. You'd eventually back up and have the same issue as before. As it turns out, discharging full accumulators is priority number 1 for energy production. So if you've set an energy exchanger to discharge and have full accumulators going into it, the energy grid will preferentially pull and use the energy from these before anything else. So all you need is a main grid that's using more energy than the excess energy of the system you're trying to, like, void the items from. Which is the only real issue on this planet, is I don't really have a perpetual demand of a main power grid to maintain the back and forth cycling of this, but that's only because literally everything is backed up right now. And yeah, it will prefer using this over the main ring of solar panels I have on this planet. I mean, that's just like, wow. Like, wow, I did not realize this before. So that's how these are used. That is exactly how these things are used. So so right now the power draw is 5 megawatts that I need, that I demand from the main grid just to operate, and it's getting all 5 from this energy exchanger. It's not using any of the potential production from the solar panels right now. All of it is coming from this. It's priority 1. It will always use from this until it hits 45 megawatts, and until it has enough accumulators flowing through to maintain that 45 megawatts. So that's a thing. That's a thing I wish was a bit better documented, but hey. I'll take what I can get. Oh yeah, here's a bunch of glass over here on this planet. I've got, I think the stone somewhere. Stone has stone bricks and even more glass. Just a little bit of bricks going on and glass going on in this planet, because I'm going to need the glass as I work into getting the quantum chips again, and eventually also the particle broadband stuff are all things that we will need. So I just want to come over and show this planet. We did end off last time looking at the Sakura Ocean planet. I'm not gonna head over there now. It's a very pretty planet. I'm getting the spiniform stalagmite stuff into the graphene rolls from there. It's glorious. Off screen, I also went around... Why are you pinned? Oh, because you are also optical grading crystals. I don't think I've been to you. I went to Ice Pick and tapped into all of the optical grading crystal, all 500,000 of it. I was deeply disappointed. I went out to this planet and I tapped into optical grading crystals, and I was very disappointed because it was only 500,000. I went out to this planet and tapped into the optical grading crystals, and I think this one out here had 1 point something million, and was a little bit less disappointed by that one. So I've tapped into a whole bunch of optical grading crystals, and I've got a bunch everywhere. I'm gonna continue going through off screen to just tap more and more and more and more and more. I would like to go here and get the unipolar magnets at some point, just to go there, see what we've got going on out at the neutron star next door, because I see they also have water on the planet. These things usually only have one, don't they? Yes. It's one, an ice field gelisol that apparently has water on it, despite being an ice planet. It's got actual water. Probably very little of it. But it does have the unipolar magnets of my dreams. Maybe only 1,000,000 of them, but we'll see how many are actually there. It would be nice if I go there and it's like 12 million unipolar magnets. But I have my doubts. I have my doubts. Now, of course, it would be a very different story if I had set the resource densities to infinity for this particular map, this playthrough, but I didn't. I left it at ×1, so we have to live with that decision going forward. Okay, what do I want to do first? Where was the place that I said I was going to build the everything? Because I've completely forgotten. Oh yeah, I tapped the sulfuric acid here as well from Jason. Let's go back to JBot, because I think that's where I planned on setting up the stuff for the Dyson Sphere / Swarm. The goal of today is to get into the Dyson Sphere stuff. Now, of course, I probably won't actually finish all that stuff. I, as you can see, have many, many, many technologies before even getting into the real Dyson stuff. Because we need to, like, get into this and the Diverix and the stuff in here as we continue our path to the end. But we also need this. Oh god, this. This is a progressive technology that has, like, a whole ton of levels associated with it, and it takes forever. But by the time you finish it, you'll be able to actually build a full-on sphere. I've also been, like, setting up my routes to be able to use warpers between these planets for the vessels, potentially, depending on how far away they are. Because distances are pretty big here in this system between the planets. Okay, now somewhere up here near the pole, I have this. So what are we going to need when setting up our Dyson Sphere? Well, we're going to need, at first, these two things. We will need solar sails as well as EM rail ejectors. Now, as it turns out, I have all 4 of these items available through my logistic network. So the very first thing to do is to set down production of EM rail ejectors. So that's what I'm gonna do. We need steel, we need iron ingots, processors, and super magnetic rings. Steel, iron ingots, processors, super magnetic rings. Now, the super magnetic rings are not being made here, nor is the iron, nor is the steel. No, in fact, only copper is here, and I don't need copper for this. So we're going to do local demand, or remote demand, excuse me, and remote demand on all of these things. Did I not give... Oh, there it goes. Like, did I not give things? This particular one is going to supply EM rail ejectors. And it will have power. Now, one of these, I hope, has those. And that should allow me to do that into there. That helps quite a bit. There we go. Now we'll have warpers available. One of the best possible features they could have in the entire game is just the ability to pass warpers through all these buildings into the internal storages without having to consume a slot in here. One of the best things ever. And then I'm probably only gonna have the one building. Oh gosh. Ba-bang! Ollie. Hey you. Ollie. Jumping up on the piano really loudly. Go there. That's better. And of course, I will need gears. So one of these needs to be iron ingots. Steel. I guess that'll work for those. And CPUs. And the output. Alright, power it up. And then I need the actual input of the, you know. Iron. There you go. Wow, that's a lot of stuff if I wanted to make this run at max. That is a lot of stuff. One every 6 seconds, but it's 20 gears. What in the actual hell? So this makes a gear a second. Okay. 20 every 6. That's more than 3 per second. I can at least get it to be 3 per second, right? Hey. Oh, it's already there. Good. Yeah, let's get this to be 3 per seconds. Oh, output on the ejector. Yeah, that would help. Go there. Yeah. Actually, send them here. That would be great. I'm gonna need a few of them. Just a few. You know, like maybe like a 1,000 would be good. Just a couple of rail ejectors would be nice to have. When it makes one every, I don't know, 7 seconds-ish. So that's one thing down. We then need to make the things that get ejected from the rail ejectors. And these solar sails. We then also, by the way, there's one thing that's actually missing from here. Oh, I apparently need more power. Whoopsies. Hey, go down. There you go. One thing that I did not have here is the ray receiver. We need this as well. Now, 3 of these items are already being brought in by this interstellar logistics station. Hello, Ollie. Hey. This booger knocked over a plastic bottle of creamer and broke its lid, its top, and spilled the creamer everywhere. Coffee creamer. Spilled it everywhere. Everywhere! Because he knocked it off of the counter. Yes, that was you. That was you, Ollie. You. That was this naughty boy. Knocking things over, making a big mess. He loves knocking things over in the kitchen. He always does it. We have to be very careful not to leave cups out on the counter that he jumps onto all the time. Especially if they have straws. If a cup has a straw, his paw is in there. Yeah, there's Ollie. His paw is in there and knocking it over, regardless of if it has fluid in it or not. So that's always pleasant. Alright, let me get down another interstellar station. Because we need to make ray receivers. And as I said, 3 things from here are required. And this is going to need glass for those photon combiners. It will also need silicon. Local demand, remote demand, local demand, remote demand. Hey, why you no silicon? Hello? Silicon? Oh, right. That would help. You know, maybe I don't need to silicon here. Maybe I don't even need this. Maybe I just get glass. I don't even know where the glass is, but yeah, maybe I just don't have that because yeah, I've got slots. You can exist somewhere over here. And while I'm at it, I should probably supply and make an excess amount of photon combiners so that I can just plop that down in a given location, bringing in photon combiners. And of course we have to provide these ray receivers in the end. Steel, silicon. Yep, CPUs, that's fine. Bring out these dudes. Bring out steel. Input. Input, input, input. And then... Not there. There. You. Photon combiners. Oh, I am not going to use optical grading crystals for you. No, 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 no. Optical grading crystals are for Casimir crystals. 100% of my optical grading crystals will make Casimirs. There is 0 point to use them for photon combiners. If they gave 2 photon combiners, maybe? But no, we've got to use them for Casimirs. And even then, though, it really should give 2 Casimirs, to be completely honest, because, it's like, sure, we save having to make organic crystals, but you can also mine organic crystals, and if you're mining organic crystals, I mean, outside of the extra steps on the titanium ingot into titanium crystals, I mean, yeah, you're saving a bit of complexity. It's still like, why 1? So this will need prisms. Now, because this is being used to just make a building, and the rate at which we make stuff out of the building isn't that necessary. Meow. We've gotten Troublemaker the Second. We've got Naughty Girl now. The Naughty Girl. This Naughty Girl caused an avalanche in my mother's bedroom, for those who weren't around to hear about that. Knocked down a whole bunch of stuff to the point that my mother was worried that Dolly could have gotten hurt and be under the pile of stuff that she knocked down. But no, she wasn't. Dolly wasn't. She was fine. She was safe. She ran away, all scared of the stuff that she caused to fall down. Yeah, that's my pretty girl. My pretty girl, she's so naughty. Naughty girl, yes. She's been naughty. She's been a naughty girl lately, yes. And she's so small too. She's such a cute. She's such a small baby. She's my baby. But she's my baby though. Yes. Despite turning my computer off by sneaking into my closet the other day. This makes 1 a second of those. This will consume 2 every 3, so not 1 per second is what I'm getting out of that. And it needs blah prisms. Oh, and I need copper, right? Hello, copper. Yeah, that bring copper. Bring all of the copper. Oh, and I suppose I need to have the iron ingots, huh? That's gonna be a little bit more difficult. It means I have to go onwards and upwards with these belts. Up to a new layer. You, of course, are making electronics. Now, how in the world is this going out? You know what? Sure, we'll do it that way. Oh boy, yeah, there you go. Do that thing. Do that. Do that. Do that. Do that. And then glass. Oh boy, glass. Yeah. We need to get the glass out. Huh? Yeah, you're also gonna go up and over. Beautiful, wonderful, glorious glass. Hi. And then I need to get all 3 of these lines over to the actual production of these. And then get that into this. Yeah, it's gonna be great. Here, have one of those. And just do your magic. Be magical. How many of those do you need? 10. I need a sorter into there. There you go. Enjoy. It's every 10 when this makes 1 every 3. Oh god, it's 1 every 30 seconds. 1 every half a minute on these ray receivers. That's fine. We'll store up 1,000 of them to have on hand at any given time. Okay. Now for the real photon combiners, I will want... So this was 1 every 3, right? So if I want, like, I don't know, well... I'm only using them for the solar sails, right? What's the ratio into solar sails? Alright, well, 1 makes 2. So if I want, say, 10. No. Let's do this. Let's think big. If I want a blue belt of solar sails, I'm gonna need 15 photon combiners per second. I'll need half a belt of photon combiners. We'll think about the assembling machine scale at another point in time. But yeah. So these guys. If I want 15 of these, that's going to need 30 prisms, which is actually more than 30 glass. Alright, then cut it in half. So, if we want 15, we need 7.5. 7.5 would need 15 on the prisms, and that would be less than 30 glass. Meow. Meow. Dolly. Dolly, why are you meowing at me? Why are you meowing? Because you've been bad girl? You know you've been bad girl. Now, the thing with the prisms is that the prisms make more than you need per thingy. So, even though I know I need 15, where am I going to put this to actually give me 15? Probably... okay. 15! Making prisons. Technically 16, but who cares? I don't. I certainly don't care. How much belt do I have? I might want more. Hey, you're not giving me belt. I may want to bring some belt on over. Yeah, thanks. Bring me like 2,000. 2,500, sure. There you go. Enjoy the things. Yeah, power. I'm going to need to address that immediately. By adding additional solar. This will take a few minutes. I have to literally circumnavigate the entire planet with solar panels. Don't mind me. Meow! Meow! No. Dolly. Dolly, I'm not letting you into the closet. I'm not letting you into the closet. She was just sitting there, right up against the door to the closet, meowing. Meowing at the door to the closet. She wanted me to let her in. No, she's not gonna go into the closet. She's like, I'm frustrated. I can't find a way to get in there. Let me in. Let me in. Let me in. Let me in. No. Why are you so fascinated with the closet? You're just gonna go in there and jump on my computer and turn it off while I'm streaming. That's not gonna happen. Again. She did that when she was a kitten. Pushed her way in to the closet while I was streaming without me noticing. Jumped on the computer and hit the power button and shut me down. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it, and she's not going in there again. Do my best to make it not happen again. What I really need is a latch to keep the door closed. But it's a two-way sliding door. Double wide sliding door with two door panels. Like, what can I do? These are not meant to latch shut. Because this used to be the garage, by the way. This was room. This quote-unquote bedroom is a converted garage. Is it enough? Oh, thank God. It's enough. One tile was enough. It was made into a bedroom by a previous owner of the house. But it means that the walls behind the, behind what I actually have as wall is cinder block. With just a little bit of a gap, and then, like, just a thin, really, really thin piece of wood. So I can't really hang stuff on these walls. Because the actual wall is only, like, you know, about that thick piece of wood. That's the actual wall on most of this. That just sits, like, yay far, about yay big, far away from the cinder block. So it's like cinder block wall, a gap about yay big, and then this thin piece of board in front. And that's most of the walls of this room. It's fantastic. It makes trying to do things like, I don't know, adding an outlet for power impossible without tools that allow you to break into and dig into the cinder block. Believe me, I tried. Behind me, literally behind me, like behind the green screen on the opposite wall behind me. I've got a thing in front of it right now, a VHS display storage rack thing. But I had tried to run electrical wire from the light switch Dolly. I had tried running some electrical wire from the light switch slot down. I tried to put a 2 outlets below the light switch because it's a convenient spot where I know there's wiring that I could just run down. And yeah, I tried, I failed. Because after I cut the hole open near the floor where I was going to put the outlets, a big like 2-gang hole, come to find out there's cinder block behind this wall, behind this little piece of wood, and it won't fit a standard power box, a standard plastic box to actually put the wiring into to have your outlet. The box won't fit. It sticks out from the wall about that much. So there went that plan. Ah, Dolly, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, now you're sleepy. Now you're sleepy. Do you want to be on my lap, or what? What do you want? Sniffing at my coffee? Anyway, we did this. So now I should have enough power for things. Thanks. More power is always good. Okay, good. She's left me. And then I need the circuits. But circuits, it's 2 per second per thing. So even though I need 7.5, as we've said now, of the circuits, that's going to be 8 buildings making circuits. Dolly, no. 8 doing circuits, so the circuit ones will be like, excuse me? Excuse me, substation, but would you not block my screen? And then this one, if I want 7.5, that's going to be 3 times 7.5. 23. You know, just casually 23 of these. That's 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. One, 2, 3. That's just for 7.5. Oh joy. Oh bliss. These are electronics. And then later we'll think about the actual account on the solar sails. It's gonna be 30 buildings to get 15 out. Very glad that they'll fly faster. That's always useful. Faster flight on the drones. They can build my belt faster now. That's glorious. So we know it'll be 30 of those in the end. Oh gosh, this is gonna be so many units of belt because we need, you know, 1, 2, 3, and that needs to get into the thingy somewhere. Oh my goodness. There it goes. We did it. I need Iron, copper, output, input, iron and copper. Iron. Copper. Okay. That. Do that. And then pray. Alright, bots, you go faster now. I'm expecting great things out of you. There you go. We've got 9 robots. If only we could have infinity. Oh, if only you could do so much more. Have more than just the 9. They will never be able to fly fast enough for my tastes. I don't need you anymore. Let's do that. And that. And that. Glorious needles. Glorious needles. Acupuncture needles. There we go. We now have photon combiners. Glorious. Beautiful photon combiners. Now, meow, 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 meow. Get away, Dolly. So, I said it would be 30 of these? We're gonna do them down here. No. Dolly, would you stop? Get out. She just keeps on coming down. Coming right down to this spot under my desk, and she starts meowing at me. Like, no. No. Stop. Dolly's gotta stop. So that's the output. We of course need 2 input belts. And we need a massive giant tower up here. Solar sails. Photon combiners. And graphene. You are going to get those. Oh, am I out of... I don't really need the vessels, but I also really need the vessels. Like, I don't need them, but I need them. Demand Gib vessels. Okay. You use which more? You use both evenly, so it won't matter. Well, don't that look pretty? Okay. Scooch that down. Scooch that down. And there we go. We now have, what is it? What was the plan? Half a belt. Half a blue belt, 15 per second on the, solar sails by building that. We now need to power everything. You would. You would. There you go. This is probably still waiting on the doohickeys, yep. It'll take a little while for the thingies to arrive. By the way, where's the, oh, there's stuff coming. Really? What's that distance? 6.83, okay. That's where the graphene, I think, is coming from. From Ave, right? Part of me is like, do I just tell him to warp out here? I don't know. I don't know. But we do have solar sails now. Glorious, beautiful solar sails. Okay. How many rail ejectors do we have? 300. It's a start. Okay. Rail ejectors. Require pretty big spacing between them. I'm gonna try to make it so that they are evenly spaced. In particular, they also use sorters for whatever reason. And we are, of course, going to circumnavigate the planet with these EM rail ejectors. You do need to tell it which orbit. So actually, I'm gonna go backwards so I can copy the orbit information. No, I'm not. I'm not, because we're gonna need to, like, circumnavigate a couple of times, because I need to place down the belt and sorters on these, and we may or may not do this on the opposite side of the solar panels after I add a third line of solar panels. So we're gonna be walking a few circles around this planet near the equator for a little bit. And this is just for formation of a Dyson swarm. Go on, place all the things. And hopefully the spacing works out so that this is going to look quite nice in the grand scheme. Considering it's on every major line, I don't foresee there being a problem on the alignment as we continue our circumnavigation here. Now, of course, this is gonna use some power. This is gonna use a bit of power. Just so we're clear about that. Oh yeah, and I'll need foundation too. But yeah, I'll definitely need foundation. All right. So I need a belt circumnavigating the entire planet. And I need foundation. So you're not giving me any foundation right now? Oh, boy. I don't have any space for foundation, even if I had it. Clear and reset. Set to foundation. Demand all of it. All of the glorious foundation ever made. Gib all of it. I need foundation. The beautiful, glorious, wonderful foundation. For the moment, because I've placed all of these now. Allow me to grab them and put them back. And in the meanwhile, I will be laying the belt. Time to circumnavigate. This is sort of why I wanted all my bots to be infinity fast. Because we have to not only place the belt, but we have to wait for the bots to build the belt. Slash. Yeah, flight times. Flight times. This process goes faster the faster your bots are. And of course we will eventually come to a point where there will be something in the way. Oh yeah, and we need to place the power lines. So that's also a thing. Please don't skip a bit. I mean, I know it won't really matter because I have to go through again to place all of the sorters. But, yeah. Let's just make sure that we get what we need placed. Don't want any major mistakes going on here. All this just for the Dyson Swarm. First phase of what will eventually become the Dyson Sphere. This will fill in the gaps, shall we say, once we get into the later phases of the Dyson Sphere. You know what, just do that until okay, we've got foundation. Beautiful. Ta-da! Okay. Oh. Yeah, about that. Yeah, about that. Hey, could you bring me some sorters? Please? Oh, no. Huh. Are you just busy, or what? Humma, 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 humma. Hello, Ave. Welcome. Your planet, Ave, is rather unfortunate. It's, I came to discover just how fortunate your planet is. Right now we're on J-Bot, but, there's something that I didn't notice. About your planet. So, you are a barren desert, Ave. And you have a 0% wind energy ratio. I can't use wind on this planet for power at all. I discovered this the hard way. I was like, oh yeah, I'll control my fire ice processing into graphene by using wind power, because it's a lot easier to do the wind power than it is a ring of solar that's inconsistent. Oh boy. Oh boy. But it made me learn a thing about how the thingies work, how these things work. I learned a thing about how these energy exchangers work. So, yeah, charging accumulators in the energy exchanger is lowest priority for the power grid that it's connected to. It will only consume excess power to charge accumulators. Discharge has highest priority. It will always consume full accumulators before using any energy from the rest of the grid. Which is a little counter to what I would normally expect out of an accumulator, because I would expect an accumulator to discharge only when needed. This discharges at highest priority. So, it's not stupid, it's actually genius. So what you do is, in any circumstance where you have excess hydrogen, you can set an energy exchanger to charge accumulators out of the power produced by the excess hydrogen, and then you can spend the excess hydrogen preferentially in a main power grid by discharging it in an energy exchanger. You can, using this system, preferentially void hydrogen power. It's great. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. Not a bug. Hashtag not a bug. Please don't change. Please do not change. I lost you? I guess I'll have to go to your planet to show you. So you have an energy exchanger on a isolated grid where you are using excess hydrogen to produce power. This thing will take all of the excess power from that isolated grid that's in excess of what you need to run the buildings at 100% that you're doing, be it oil processing or be it fire ice processing. Yes, isolated grid being key on charging. And then a separate energy exchanger connected to your main grid can be set to discharge, and then your main grid will preferentially consume the extra energy coming off of this isolated grid. It's glorious. It's absolutely glorious. And exactly what I wanted, because it allows straight up voiding of hydrogen without any concerns for power balancing. Oh, it's great. It's great. It's great. It is absolutely fantastic. I love it. I did not figure that out myself. I found it in a random forum post by someone. Someone posted about it on the internet, and I was like, huh, I'm stealing this. I am using this to my advantage. That is an absolutely ingenious way of clearing out the stuff. Oh, and then what you do is you add miniature particle colliders to convert the hydrogen into deuterium first. So you take your excess hydrogen, you add these buildings that require an immense amount of energy to operate through the miniature particle colliders that have your amount of effective fuel value by running that process. So these things use 12 megawatts of power just to run, and then they have your amount of hydrogen into deuterium. And deuterium has the same fuel value as hydrogen of 9 megajoules, and you just throw them into a thermal reactor. It's glorious. Absolutely. And then whatever excess power you have goes into the energy exchanger to make charged accumulators that you can then send into a main grid somewhere to process back to accumulators. This, of course, will only work really effectively if your main grid is constantly consuming a lot of power, though. That's the one downside. The one main downside to using the energy exchanger in that way is you do need to be able to actually consume that excess power in the main grid. Otherwise, you have the same issues as you've always had with backups, because you'll back up on the accumulators effectively, and you'll eventually back up on the hydrogen and just be sad. You'll be sad, crying. But ideally, if your main grid is not consuming the power, it's because you're backed up on a whole bunch of stuff, and not because the grid itself doesn't use enough power. You haven't built at large enough scale. Yeah, that's a thing I learned in these couple of days. Okay, are we done? Yes, we're done with this particular circumnavigation. The problem now is that I have to place every single one of these. Oh, at least I don't need the same amount of them as I do the rail ejectors. I can do every other and be fine. You're about to put the first of smelting outputs on your chain network. Grats. Always a good feeling getting all your stuff online. Gee, if only these things had stuff to eject. We'll get to that. We're gonna get it so that it'll just work and then add the solar sails and be done with this particular setup. And then you realize, oh hey, you probably don't have enough power to run all these at the same time. Slash half of these at the same time. Actually, would it even do half? Good question. Geometry. I don't think half of them run at the same time. A section of them will always operate, which is the whole idea here. There will always be a segment that will run. So we have a constant stream of our doohickeys, solar sails. That's the last one of those. Alright. Solar sails. Go at it. I do not need a splitter here. The reason being that this geometry will always prefer the stuff that's coming from the left before adding new stuff. This input will always top up what's going around in the circle. And we are ejecting. Now, how much power am I using as I'm ejecting? Oh, you know, I'm actually okay. Huh? Well, alrighty then. More would operate after the stuff goes all the way around. We sort of have to, you know, wait for 30 items per second to make their way all the way around. And for all of the other rail ejectors to have their fill. Oh boy. So, if we view the star, we can now see the beginnings of our Dyson swarm. Isn't it beautiful? The glorious beginnings of the Dyson swarm have arrived. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, we're getting more going from this side. Oh boy, if all of those operate at the same time, am I gonna have the power? Let me just keep watch, because each one of these uses like close to 2 megawatts each. 1.8 megawatts each as they're firing. Okay, the ones in the middle have a pitch limit, so we end up getting stuff that's on one side and stuff on the other, and then the stuff in the middle can't and fire. So we end up with, yeah, 2 streams like that. Always firing. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, that's so nice. And of course, they buffed these so that they last longer inherently. They added an hour to the lifetime of the solar sails, so they by default last 90 minutes. They used to only last 30. And then all of the techs that scale up the extra minutes just tack on the extra minutes on top of that 90 now. Oh boy. And of course, the more you have, the more power you can potentially generate out of it. So if I hit Y, our generation capacity is constantly climbing. And it will climb in line with whatever the maximal value is of solar sails. Like, once we get to a point where after 90 minutes plus, depending on the lifetime of the thing, of constant production, it'll get to a point where the stuff that's being removed versus the ones being added fresh equalize, and that's how much energy we generate. But bear in mind that for every one that we lose, like, that's stuff that's just been deleted from the game, right? That's glass and graphene and iron and copper ingots that have been deleted from the face of existence every time a solar sail is expired. So, yeah. That's a thing to bear in mind. We're over 140 megawatts now, because each solar sail is being multiplied by 2.477 since we're around a blue giant. Yeah, that's pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. I'm happy about that. So, that's part 1. And off of this alone, we could get antimatter. And we could beat the game off of this alone. But, of course, we want to actually make a Dyson Sphere. That's the whole name of the game. We want to make a real sphere. Now, making the real sphere itself and consuming our solar sails is gonna require some technology, some more technology, and you know what? I think I'm going to actually shift to that the moment I finish this. Now, that's 2,000 science to chew through, plus another 900. I'm gonna start now on this 900. And, allows ray receiver to consume graviton lens to increase max output power. What that doesn't mention... What that doesn't mention is that, as long as the planet has an atmosphere, cough cough, if you throw in a graviton lens, the exact position on the planet does not matter anymore. It will not matter at all. Ah, yes, and this allows the critical photons to actually make the antimatter, and that'll give me power through the antimatter, but we sort of need those white cubes at some point too. I'm gonna queue that stuff, the necessary stuff, before we start queuing up the additional levels of the stress system technology. Okay, next steps. What do we need? Well, we need a few base materials that I don't have here yet, and I don't remember if I'm providing them on the interstellar network. So I might need to go home to provide them on the interstellar network. I might need to go back to the homeworld. because the concept of making more of these quantum chips is disturbing. I know that it'll take a long time, and I want to try to get greater than 0 carrier rockets before the end of the stream. So, here's what we're up against. We need to be able to make the vertical launch silo, which needs quantum chips, and it needs graviton lenses. Oh god. So that's strange matter. That's Casimir crystals for the chips. That's deuterium for the strange matter. Because this planet doesn't have a gas, because this system doesn't have a gas giant, it has an ice giant. I don't really have a good way to get deuterium without using a whole bunch of fractionators, and if I can avoid that, I will. So, I'm thinking that I will find the nearest gas giant system and tap into it there and extract deuterium and ship it, or, yeah, just ship it to, where I need it. And if that sounds familiar, that's because that's what I'm doing on my home planet. It's just that's very far away. I want it closer. So we need vertical launching silos. The vertical launching silos launch carrier rockets. The carrier rockets need more quantum chips and deuteron field rods. Again, deuterium for those deuteron field rods, plus the other things that they need, the titanium alloys and things. And they need components, Dyson Sphere components, which uses solar sails and frame structures and regular CPUs. And the frame structures, titanium alloys and carbon nanotubes. I don't have titanium alloys at all. So, this will all start probably with making some titanium alloys here. Local. I need the alloys. The alloys are done in the arc smelters. We're just gonna find a convenient spot on this planet and start setting down arc smelters, making alloys. Now, this needs titanium, steel, and sulfuric acid. Hey there, buddy. This guy's charging, that's why its satisfaction went down. Take that. We need sulfuric acid. We need titanium ingots. We need steel. All these wonderful, glorious things, and we are going to provide alloys. Okay, go ahead and get that. You coming out, you're gonna be steel. You coming out, you're gonna be titanium. You coming out, you're gonna be sulfuric acid. Place all those sorters. Sorters get sorting. And that is a bunch of titanium alloys. How many is it? I don't know. It's greater than 4. Greater than 4 per second. And it consumes 1 to 1 of the steel. I'm making like, I don't even know how much steel. 10, I think, per second. Something along those lines. But yeah, with that, we are halfway through today's stream, which means that it is in fact time to take a brief break. During this break, I will allow the game to continue to run so that tech can continue to happen. So we are waiting on techs. I will be back shortly. And I've returned. Welcome back. We have alloys in our system here. Oddly enough, I actually have the stuff to feed this many alloys. That's the far, far, far stranger occurrence here. I can actually feed all of this. Gee, how's the Dyson swarm looking? Large and dense. Exactly how I want it. We've almost got a gigawatt of potential from this Dyson Sphere. We're almost at a gigawatt. Of course, this capacity is doing jack all right now. Absolutely nothing. Until we get ray receivers online. I'm imagining that these stack at... Oh god, they stack at 20. Well, alrighty then. So I'm going to go to the South Pole, which I think is where I haven't built anything yet. Okay. South Pole. You're getting a ray receiver, and you are generating power. We have 100% strength. Yeah, I know how it works, thanks. The longer it is continuously receiving, the more power we're going to get. Now, just by virtue of having a Dyson shell at max, just its very existence helps keep this strength value at 100%. That's just, by virtue of it existing, it has 100% strength now. In our current position. It's nice. It's nice. And we can see the swarm around the star. That's actually a very nice view there of our star with the ray receiver. Oh, it's beautiful. Although note, that's the tilt of this planet. The actual ring is on the horizontal to the arbitrary plane. Or to an arbitrary plane. Yeah. So that's horizontal. This planet has a inclination of 10 degrees. 44 minutes. Wow. That's a tilt. The sphere itself has not started yet, no. No, that's what we're working towards next. We need that next. So this is going to, at highest... Oh god, we're almost at the gigawatt. So we get, what, 7 megawatts out of this? One ray receiver? Yeah, it's not that great. You need a lot of technologies to improve this ray receiving efficiency stat. And of course, adding the graviton lens pulls in 50% more, something along those lines. But it's okay for now. And I can just add in these guys to connect it to the main grid. If I will have continuous exposure, well, that's the point of building on the pole, is to try to maximize my continuous exposure. It apparently takes like half an hour on the continuous exposure to get it, or continuous receiving to get it all the way up at 100. So, so long as I can get a few of these guys online, I think all of these should be at continuous receiving strength 100. So the continuous receiving is based off of strength. It's based off of strength, and there is actually a formula that determines the max inclination you can be. We're over a gigawatt now on the Dyson Sphere status. There is a formula. There is a formula that tells you what the strength rating will be based off of, like, a whole bunch of information. It's on the wiki. It's on the wiki for the ray receiver. Dyson Sphere Program. Ray receiver wiki. The ray receiver. At least I think it's on the ray receiver. Mechanics! Okay. Strength ranges from 0 to 100%, expresses how well the receiver is receiving from the sphere and swarm. The exact formula for this quantity is... Are you ready? 100% times a clamp of the quantity of 0.5 plus 6.0 times the quantity of sun underscore x times x plus sun underscore y times y plus sun underscore z times z plus 0.08 times the quantity of Dyson sphere dot gross radius divided by the quantity of planet dot sun distance in AU times 40,000 end quantity plus the quantity of no underscore lens question mark 0.0 colon ion enhance end quantity where ion enhance is the square root of the quantity of 1 minus planet radius squared divided by the quantity of planet radius plus 0.6 times ionosphere height quantity squared end quantity, and then xyz is normalized position vector of the building, and sun x, sun y, sun z is normalized sun direction in the planet's frame of reference. Oh boy! How about this? Go to that link and look at mechanics. Okay, of note, in the formula, building on the poles or as close as possible is a good idea since, when axial tilt is low, this causes the dot product term to be near 0 instead of fluctuating between 1 and -1. You want to maximize the gross radius value. Dyson sphere gross radius is a numerator of a quantity that gets divided by the planet's distance from the sun times 40,000. So the greater the gross radius, the higher the value you'll have in this formula. So you just create a new layer in the Dyson sphere of maximum size, and it sets the Dyson sphere gross radius to the maximum it can ever be. And it will never change. Even if we haven't built anything in that layer of the node, the actual Dyson sphere gross radius is the value that changes when you set up that max radius layer of the Dyson shell. It basically sets the gross radius of the Dyson sphere to be that value, even if you haven't built anything there yet. Yeah. Adding a layer with radius 20,000 will guarantee full 100% strength uptime at the poles with up to this table's value of axial tilt, or far away from the poles with 0 axial tilt, so a distance from or whatever, or some combination. So let's see. There's a max safe angle in degrees, and then there's an orbital radius on there. Of particular note, if you have a particularly close planet, you can end up 90 degrees away, all the way on the equator, and still get 100% strength. This planet is how far away? So this planet is 2.32 AU. So yeah, the axial inclination means that basically the percentage will go below 100% on strength, depending on the time of year, potentially. We are in polar night. We are in polar night, and we still have 100 strength. So let's just say that the layer radius is greater than 20,000, right? So the layer radius we have here, what is this radius? I don't know. It doesn't tell me. At least I don't think it tells me what what this radius is. So this radius is 74,400. Okay. The radius is 74,400. So, yeah. We can be probably anywhere on this planet and have strength 100. Here, let me go to the equator real quick at night. Let me go to the equator at night just to illustrate. So we are on the equator at night. We have a strength of how much? How much is our actual strength here? It is decreasing. It is decreasing. Is it going to go to 0? Okay. Phew. At least that works out as expected. Now, what happens if we're, like, that far away? Oh, we're still at 100 strength. So we can't go... we're decreasing. We're decreasing. But note, even when strength is less than 100, you still gain continuous receiving until it hits a threshold value of around 75%. Alright, so what about up here? What about up here? Is this decreasing? That's not decreasing. I can have ray receivers. On this planet. Here. I can have them here. All the way down to here. And remember, this is winter zone, polar night. And that'll be 100% strength. Like, ha! All the way down here. I'm glad we did this exercise. So now we know. Suffice to say, it's a really dumb system. Oh yeah, we're making over 1.5 gigawatts of stuff from our swarm now. And still increasing. And still increasing. Okay. Next. I may have to go home to the home world so I can get the quantum chips on the network. Hello, my Ollie. How's my boy? Ollie was bad boy earlier. Oh wait, as long as I've got warpers here, I should be able to get them for my homeworld. Hold up. Hey, who's got warpers and who's got a spare slot? Who's got warpers and a spare slot? Probably no one. Probably no one. Oh, you've got a spare slot and warpers? Yo. Bring me these guys. All that means is that I don't have, like, hundreds. Bring me all of them. Bring me all of them. Okay, so I have 0. Great. Great. I have exactly 0 provided in an interstellar station. Dolly. Meow. Dolly, 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 Dolly. Dolly, what are you doing? What are you doing? Dolly was bad girl today. Just to say this again. She caused an avalanche. Where you going? Where you going? Where you going? Da-ba. She caused an avalanche in my mother's bedroom. Almost hurt herself. Almost got hurt from causing the avalanche and made a big mess. Make a big mess to clean up. The kitty's making big messes today. Hey, you. Why do you want to be here? Why do you want to be here? This is like the 5th plus time you've come to me today. Here. Go be with your brother. And off she goes. Ollie was also naughty today. He knocked over a great big bottle of coffee creamer and broke its cap and spilled everywhere. Fortunately, not the entire bottle, but greater than zero amount of stuff. I do not want to make these on screen again. These quantum chips, because, well, they're a pain. They will need Casimir crystals. They will need me to set up plane filters and Casimir crystals and all of that nonsense. So I'm going to fly home. Back to the homeworld. So off I go into this, which also means I'll have to fly back from my homeworld. Oh, great. Alright, here. Indicator. Now, the homeworld is 20 light years away. Fortunately, with tech upgrades, my storage of fuel here is like 3.16 gigajoules. Meaning it will only take 2 warpers to get there. I hope. I can go much further than I used to on a single tank of gas, as it were. I didn't want to have to go back home, but this is ultimately going to be the quickest way of accessing quantum chips all the way out here. For the purposes of at least starting to have the items necessary to form the Dyson Sphere. Because ultimately that's what I want to do within this next hour and 7 minutes, is start launching carrier rockets. Ideally I want to launch carrier rockets, but chances are it's not going to happen. I'll get pretty close, but I might not be able to start physically launching them. But we'll see. We shall see. Wow, am I gonna get there on a single tank of gas? I think we're gonna get within like a light year and be sad. We are under a light year from our destination, but it still take 40 minutes to get there at our current velocity. So, yeah, we're gonna have to use another warper. Unfortunate. Just barely not enough stuff. Not enough gas in the tank. I can't really get any more until I have the white cubes. I'm also gonna have to set up science at scale, aren't I? At some point. Because this rate is way too slow. It's being limited by those green cubes, though, just as a by the way, because we're limited by the strange matter. Oh, right, we're limited by the strange matter. Bah. Just wonderful. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Go. Get thee home. We're home. Welcome. Wait, you're limited by the pink doohickeys? Why? Huh. Huh. Oh, you've got lots of quantum chips. You are limited by graviton lenses. Which I figured would be the limit, but... Huh. Yeah, I'm gonna need, graviton lenses as well. But why are the pink boxes? You. This. Magnets? Seriously? Magnets? Magnets. Oh, hey, you're empty. You don't need to exist. Hi. More space. More space for stuff. Also, why did I not... Odd. How odd. Why do you have warpers? Why do you have warpers? Why are you set to remote demand when I am making graphene here? Like, this makes graphene. Should it not be a supply? Also, where was I going? Where was I going? What was I doing? I was going there. Hey, buddy. Have those. Transport range infinity, right? So, what I would expect here is for these logistics vessels to be able to go out to the Blue Giant world and collect the magnets that I am providing there, I have them on remote supply. Maybe it respects a transport range on that destination, or on that supplier. Maybe it is respecting that. So, gosh dang. Yeah, this is being limited only by magnets, which in one sense is actually somewhat ideal. I don't happen to have an iron that I haven't tapped here, do I? I have a steel. Wait, you're telling me that this steel is only being used to supply the mall? Ahem. Ahem. Okay. Sure. Magnets. Supply. Oh boy, I need to change that to magnets. Alright, let me get rid of some of the junk from the inventory. Sorters, level 2 sorters, level 2 sorters, level 2 sorters. Goodbye. Kill it all! Upgrade. Whatevs. Whatevs. It works. Excuse me. Oh. You know, I need to pay more attention sometimes. That is going over the top. Oh, and whilst I'm here, I can actually do some restocking of these. in particular. What about... these guys? I'll get these guys. Oh yeah, I have more inventory than I had previously thanks to tech upgrades. I don't really need this many water pumps, though. Goodbye. Deleted from the face of existence. I don't need them. Let's grab some more you. Okay. How you doing? Oh yeah, using all of them, as I figured. As I thought. My goodness, this is really, really weird how that was all mined and tapped. But hey, I'll take it. 0. Oh hey, you know, it would help steel. Yo, how do you not have any steel at all? Like... Buh? Buh. Have the steel. Seriously. Take it. Use it. Do what you will with it. Now, where in the world are those quantum chips? I came here for a purpose. One of which was quantum chips. Local demand, remote supply. Yes, give things. Like 2,000 of them, plus. And then what about... these? I do want to remote supply them. Graviton lenses. The problem is I'm never going to actually have the graviton lenses. I'm never going to have them. And the reason for that is that the belts outputting graviton lenses will always take precedence. They will always, 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 always take precedence over anything else. So even though I would like more strange matter, as an example, good luck with that. But I need to fit you. I need you to be there. Can I, like, just place you one tile over? Thanks. I don't have any particle colliders, who knows? I only had 3. Output. 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 I know I just made my problem worse because I need even more of the pink doohickeys. Particle containers. Gee. If only there was enough unipolar magnets to make it worth it. Why in the world did they think that 10 unipolar magnets per particle container was a good idea? It's absolutely not a good idea considering there's only 2 systems in the entire thing that can have one. That can have them. Also, huh? You've got a few. What are you limited by? Those. I have to laugh a little bit about that. Just a little bit about that, considering yeah, how many I have on my other planet. Well, alright then. I guess it's just a matter of praying and scaling. Prayer and scale. Now these are being provided. These deuteron fuel rods. I do have these. They're on my network. I've already shipped them to the other system. And now I'm sending the quantum chips all the way out 20 light years away. Even though I'd like to also be sending the graviton lenses, unfortunately that is not quite in the cards quite yet. We'll get there. Eventually. Eventually we'll get there. You know what would help is those as well. It'd be nice if you got those. Because yeah, the science. Also, I paused my science for whatever reason. Let's not pause the science. That's a terrible idea. And this just makes the strange matter. This doesn't make the actual graviton lenses, does it? No. Anyway. Off I go. I'm heading back at this point. Should I make more of the magnets? Well, maybe. But I'm actually gonna head to which one was it? Vicky. Yes, the indicator is there. So I'm gonna head to Vicky. Because that's where I'm making my magnets right now. Or that's where I have magnets. I want to check what I've done with the magnet logistics station. Because I don't know why it's not actually allowing the magnets to be used at my home system 20 light years away. Or if I'm actually using all of the magnets for the supermagnetic rings, because that's where I'm making my supermagnetic rings. If I just need more magnets, I'm going to make them where I have my main base, so I'll do that first. I mean, especially if I'm going to be making the strange matter out near here. Right, I need deuterium, though. I'd like a closer source of deuterium. But that would also mean orbital collectors. And as I saw on my home planet, I don't have those right now. The orbital collectors would be very easy to make, actually, at the moment, because I've made all of the things I need to make them. The orbital collectors, I have accumulators at this point being made in this system. So filling them is trivial. That was like the hardest part, was setting up the accumulators. The previous level of thing, yeah, that's the pink doohickeys, but the point is that we're going to be making those. And we've made the alloys. And we have all but those particle containers. So make particle containers. And I have those orbital collectors being made here. Local in this system, and I'll have greater than 0 amounts of them, for that matter. And then I could use them going out. The alternative is make a ton of fractionators, as much as I hate the concept. I don't like using fractionators because they're really obnoxious to have at proper throughput. Even though it does 1-to-1 convert hydrogen into deuterium, and they're really low fuel value or really low energy systems, etc., etc., etc. It's a pain logistically to set those up, and you do need the source of hydrogen, which I have at a gas giant. It's just large scale. They operate very slowly. They're very slow. Hello, magnets. What did I do here? 10 light years. That's what I did here. Infinity! Please drop. Please. Please drop. Considerably. We have a bunch. Power. Oh. Hey, I have these things called ray receivers now. Could we, use those? What are you? Oh. Ray receivers. Hey. Could I, plop these guys down and use them? That was not good spacing. I placed one right. I want you there. I want you there! Why did I have to pick the one line that wasn't particularly easy? Here, go in the middle. These should all be strength 100, perpetually. And no, they're not charging that. I don't want that charging. I do want them hooked up to the main grid. Ta-da! Tap into my 3 gigawatt Dyson shell. Dyson swarm. Ah, yeah, that's convenient. When a plan comes together. Oh, joy. Also, you used to be 10,000. I used to have super magnetic rings. Is there a reason why you are not having your stuff? Oh, it's iron ingots. Really? Huh. Interesting. I will need more iron ingots, but that's just a note in my mental notepad about what to do between now and next time. What do I need to be concerned about now? You're a local demand remote supply? On iron ingots, but don't you require Nah, you're gonna be a local supply. Why would you be a local demand? Because you're the one place that's providing it to the remote, I would imagine. But you're the only one with the iron plates. No, you've got iron plates, but you're also a remote supply, so there's no point. Like, nah, mate, nah. We're good here. We're fine. That one redistribution alone should be enough to cover the iron, and it is starting to climb. Which means that these rings should pick up their pace a little bit. Okay. We have figured out a thing here. So now to get off this rock and head to J-Bot. 4 light years, 5 light years, we're warping there. Or AU, excuse me, not light years. Astronomical units away. Go, go, go. Welcome. Aha. Hello. So which one of you did I import the quantum cubes from, or in you? Quantum chips. The unfortunate part is that one of these is going to need to be graviton lenses. And it will likely never have a thing sent to it. You don't have warpers. Where's the closest thingy with warpers? It's probably you. Oh. Off we go. Please get in build range. Please build the thing. Come on, buddies. Build that belt for me. Okay, go, go, go. Go, go, go. What? There you go. Oh, hey, look, I'm semi-restocking. I've got warpers on me, so I'll never run out. Also, kill the thing. Thanks. Forgot that I was carrying around a whole bunch of fuel rods. Didn't really click in my mind. Alright. Next. We need a lot of stuff. We will need these. But that will require a delivery on on the graviton lenses, and I really don't see that happening. Even when it's like set to vessels at 1%, it's not going to happen. Not for a while. So, even though I can set this to be a thing, I will not be able to make them white yet. No, instead, I will be setting up frame materials, components, and carrier rockets. Because those are the things that I can actually build. So, what are the ratios here if my intent is carrier rockets in the end? We need these 3 things. And, you know, the solar sails, but we're making 15 solar sails per second. So let's say I want to make a small carrier rocket every second. A carrier rocket per second. Well, that will need 2 chips, 4 fuel rods, but 2 of the components. Okay, 2 components. 2 components is going to need 6 of the frame materials. That's what I'm going to look at for now. 6 of the frame materials. Is a lot of graphene rolls, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm going to need even more alloys, but we can live with this. Okay. Now I know. We're probably going to be doing this as a series of doohickeys here. So this guy here. So 6 times 6 is a number. 6 per second. 6 per 1 per second. Oh boy. Let's do that. Let's do that. That's 30. 6. Oh boy, belt. I forgot about you. Yeah, belt is a wonderful thing. Need immense amounts of belt. And then this has 3 inputs. Glorious. How convenient that there just so happens to be 3 ports on each side. How convenient that I have a lot of sorters. Hey, what's 36 times 4? Pretty sure that's less than 262. I hope. Place those belts. Belts. There you go. This will be powered with substations. I'm not about to place the regular Tesla towers down. Okay. Oh well. Oh god. Oh no 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 no. I don't want those. Destroy. I need rolls. Rolls. Carbon nanotubes. Demand. I need alloys. This one's a local supply. So demand storage. There you go. And of course the silicon ingots demand. Oh, you do that here, right? And you're going to be providing the frame materials to everyone. Sure, we'll pass this on. Not like that, dummy. Click the thing. I thought they fixed this. Yo. You fixed this in a patch, but obviously not. You fixed this. You were supposed to have fixed this. Any updates today? July 6th. No. Apparently not. Oh right, I put that in that port. I'm still a dummy. Go that way. Yep, still problems. Alright, it's... that. Arrangement. Really? Nanotubes? Oh god, they're coming from a ways away. Yo, use warpers. Use warpers to get those. Thanks. And power. And unfortunate. Power. And power. Okay. Frame materials. There you go. We've got the frame materials. 6 per second of frame materials, which makes 2 components per second. Okay. 2 components per second. That's going to be 16 of these buildings. Ahem. That way. That way, these need a 2 input, 3 input. Huzzah. Yeah, too close, too close, too close, too close. There you go. G. Wouldn't it be nice if I could just do that? Well, there's, one. Wait, did that go up 2? Why? Why did you go up 2? Well, it doesn't matter. Okay, the other pieces are CPUs and... oh god. No! Ahem. Are CPUs. And, what was it? Solar cells? Demand? Storage? Stuff? Things? Power? You know, I'm making solar cells, right? Oh. You know, it would help a bit if half of my buildings were operational, making these solar sails. That would help a lot. If they could, you know, actually output the things that they've made. Here I am just assuming that I'm actually launching 15 per second of the solar sails out into the thing, preventing me from having any in storage to supply. But no. As it turns out, I'm just making half. I'm just making half of that. I'm making 7.5 rather than 15. Because the sorters connected the building to the other building rather than to the output belt. Oh well. Now let's see if I'm actually launching twice as much. I would imagine no. And that I'll have a bunch that will make it all the way through, and then eventually that will back up, and then this will back up, and then I can get some sent around. It's just that these have to fill in their internal buffers for a bit. So really the density I'm looking at is about this much. Here, once we get to this transition here, that little bit of extra is what counts. That means that I will have about this much extra being put into the storage in the end. Once all is said and done. I think, anyway. It's just we need these buffers to fill, man. Fill your buffers. Fill your buffers. Because the last thing I want to do is delete half of these rail ejectors. That's the last thing I really want to do. All we need is to get greater than 1 cycling through. And once we have greater than 1 cycling through, this line should back up at some point. It's just a matter of when will this happen. I think no matter what, I'm going to have to make more solar sails at some point. We shall need more. Can I get more? Well, I made the photon containers to match my given output that I wanted of these, so I would also need to scale the photon containers. But that's okay. Speaking of okay. We need a central belt going out to there-ish. We can have the CPUs there, solar sails there, and CPUs there, solar sails there. And now to triple sorter on all of these. Now, I hope that's enough room. It's not enough room, but it's fine. Hashtag 1 tile and all that good stuff. Yes, we are, in fact, backing up here. On occasion. On occasion. We just need this to get into here briefly. Long enough for a drone to do its thing. Now there is a thing I could do instead, which would be to split in here, but that would be obnoxiously that would be obnoxious. It would require me to move the belts on the sides over a little bit to fit a splitter in, and I don't really feel like it. I do not feel like doing this thing. But it's just gonna take like at least half an hour, maybe, to get all of this backed up properly. If it ever backs up properly. Oh, it backed up properly. Briefly. Ever so briefly. It'll be magic once it finally does. Absolute magic. Oh, there was some amount greater than 0 in storage. Oh, greater than 0. Brief periods of time of greater than 0 are much appreciated. Now, if only there would be enough. Oh, we got a charge. A drone left. A drone left with solar sails. Hallelujah. Some amount of solar sails. I just saw beneath the ground. So we'll have N amount of Dyson components. 2 whole Dyson components, plus 6 solar sails on the way. 4 whole Dyson components. Oh joy. Oh bliss. And that, of course, leaves my one carrier rocket. I need 6 buildings for my one carrier rocket per second. One entire rocket. Okay. Six. You will need Deuteron and quantum chips. Well, sorry to say, but that'll be a brand new... I shouldn't have done that. That'll be a completely new doohickey here. I said here. Now quickly kill these things. One. Two. 3. 4. Actually, do this. Okay. Demand. And Deuteron fuel rods. Did I bring them here? Yes. Yes, I've already brought them here, so we're going to bring in several. And you are providing the rockets at the end. Quote unquote, providing the rockets at the end. Oh look, it's all within power range as well. Good. We have rockets. We do not have power, do we? We're barely satisfied, but that's okay. Well, we are closer than we have ever been. Question of the century. I have 0 graviton lenses. Ugh. Ugga. Ugga bugga. Ugga frickin' bugga. Well, the vast majority of everything that I need to make the actual launchers is here. The buildings. You know. It's just those things. We got these guys. We got these guys. Yeah, we got these guys. Yeah, sure. I'll bring some over to say hello. And the last one is the quantum chips. From all the way over there. And who has a spare slot that's useful? You do. So you're gonna provide the building. Again, if I ever make one. Boom. there you go. Just add graviton lenses when/if they ever happen. And there happens to be a trip here. So in theory, with 10 minutes left, I've now gotten all of the infrastructure to start building out the Dyson rings around this star that I have set up. But, yeah, probably not gonna happen anytime soon, particularly because of the inherent lack of resources. Why are you not anything? Why are you going down to 0? Maybe I should tell it to bring a few more. Yeah, bring more of that. I want to localize the deuterium fuel rod production. I want to get localized graviton lenses. They technically exist, it's just they're all going into science right now. Otherwise, I think I'm good. Oh, this finally equalized, so now it's sending off the excess. Glorious. Glorious, glorious, glorious. Alright. Graviton lenses. These guys. We will need diamonds, which we have infinity. We have infinity of diamonds. That is the easy part. The hard part is strange matter. And strange matter is made in particle colliders. I don't have any particle colliders on me, nor am I making them. So I need to make particle colliders to do this. I have all of these things. I have all of them, including the frame components now. So I'm not worried about being able to make the particle colliders. My worry is that strange matter requires deuterium, and it requires the pink particle containers, which, yeah, that's a lot of graphene, and that's a lot of iron plates and copper plates. So this is where the scaling is really, really critical. I need to mine every single iron and copper I can find to get iron ingots and copper ingots to do this, and I'm going to need a lot of the graphene as graphene. Now, as I mentioned, I am processing fire ice into graphene, but it's a pain in the butt. To the point where I think I would rather just spend sulfuric acid and the energetic graphite to get graphene over processing fire ice. That hydrogen out adds a bit too much for doing it at scale. A bit too much of an issue for doing it at scale. Yes, I can convert it into deuterium in a 1-to-1, but it's not enough deuterium to do strange matter anyway. I'd rather get a consistent source of deuterium. I would much rather get a consistent source of deuterium. Now, with it being pretty close to the end of the stream, let me look here. Does that have a... No, that has an ice giant. Let me look at you. Do you have an ice giant? You do not have any. You don't have a gas giant. Do you have a gas giant? No. Do you have a gas giant? You have two? You have two ice giants. I didn't even know that there could be multiple gas giants. You right there, Anka, 4 light years away, you have an ice giant and a gas giant. And that's a source of deuterium, potentially. You don't have one. You, of course, don't have one. You have a gas giant at Amazon Star. So I'll probably pin you as well. Nicolay does not. Vega does not. Alva does not. You have a Iota Eridani has a gas giant. Now, the key thing here is I can't just place orbital collectors around the gas giants. I can't just do that. I have to have a planet with an interstellar logistics station that is importing the stuff from the gas giant, which is a remote request, and then I have to shove it into a different station as a remote supply. As weird as that is. So, we're going to take a peek over here and tap into unipolar magnets now that we're at the end of today's stream. And I don't really have the time to do much else. We're going to go to the glorious thing known as the neutron star. It's less than 10 light years away. Fly away to this neutron star so we can tap into some unipolar magnets. It's tempting to not tap into the unipolar magnets before having access to the infinite technologies, just because of the behavior of the infinite technologies, allowing you to get effectively infinite resources through the productivity gains, or efficiency gains, I should say. You're able to... The problem is the cost, the tech cost for the white science. It requires a lot of scale, and it would take a really long time to accrue enough stuffs. Alright, welcome to the Sol planet around the neutron star. The Sol neutron star. We can view the interpretation of what that neutron star looks like. Looks a little bit like a Tesla ball. Alright. Where are the unipolar magnets and how many? Oh my god, there's 12.5 million? There's 12.5 million unipolar magnets here. There's 12.5 million. I'm a little surprised that there's that many here. But yeah, that's what they look like, these little magnet things. So how many is it per plane smelter? 15. 12 million divided by 15. That's 800,000 plane smelters. I don't think I'm gonna need 800,000 plane smelters. Okay. Okay. I thought there would be like 2 mil tops. Like, I thought there would be like a mil, 2 mil of the unipolar magnets, like 1 ore vein. Nah. Nah, they were kind, and they've given us 12.5 million on one of 2 total planets that will ever have unipolar magnets in the entire map. So, yeah, I get to set this up now, off screen, to mine these. We'll need power, warpers, all that brought to me. This is 147% solar, so I will wrap the planet in solar, tap into every single one of these ore patches for the unipolar magnets, get them all sorted up and loaded up onto the network, and that will be the recipe. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Even at 10 each, that's a lot. That's 1.2 mil particle containers. That's a lot of stuff. And in the meantime, I will set up some plane filters, and I may off-screen start making plane smelters, so that we, have them. So that we have them, and that I can use them and reduce my scale of ore processing. I would like a lot. A few thousand of them, at least. 10,000 of them. Fill an entire interstellar logistics station with them, and that'll be as many as I'll need for the rest of the game, ideally. And then all of the rest of the unipolar magnets can go into these. And that'll be that. With that, folks, we have reached the end of today's stream. Oddly enough, the end of the streams for the week. So with that, I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Shobot. If you have enjoyed today's stream, please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff below the video. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you've not yet subscribed, hit the notification bell. Consider becoming a member of the channel by hitting the great big blue join button, and supporting on Patreon at patreon.com/OtakuShobot if you're so inclined and able. I, of course, will be back with more Dyson Sphere Program on Monday, and we'll be back with my Factorio C-Block playthrough on Tuesday and Thursday. I hope to see you all on the next one.